episode 65, Barbershop Podcast, here from Boxo Studio in Hamilton, Ontario, bringing you the best in Hamilton music and musicians each and every week. Myself and Ryan Cannon. How you doing, Ryan?
Doing great.
Doing great. You're looking great. You're wearing the green tonight.
Wearing the green.
It's fierce. It's 1 month away until St. Patrick's Day.
It is. I'm getting ready.
You and I
excited.
We do some damage. We're a couple of big Irish boys.
It's your birthday.
It is my birthday.
It is your birthday on St. Patrick's
Things
Day.
get done on Monday, March 17th. And, well, you know what? They're going to get done here tonight. And brought in another fantastic group of people. Pleased as punch to have Sue Leonard in the house tonight, but she insisted on bringing by some highly skilled and wonderful people with her to make the experience even that much better. And of course, we always say yes to that. You get some people coming in and sharing what they do musically, and you get a little taste of what kind of what goes on in the musical community, what's available to you on a nightly basis. Come out and support the venues that support live music. Come to Hamilton, Ontario. It is chock full of the good things that keep you young and strong in this world. I'm just going to work left to right, just because it's easier on my older eyes at this point. But Sue has brought in Cindy Dell, who is an incredible performer, singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist in her own right. And she's come by with her violin and her guitar and her beautiful voice. How you doing tonight?
I'm good.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you could make it down. And
Thank you.
Of course, Sue Leonard, who is always on top of her game. She's got stories galore. We're going to see how many we can get out of her tonight. She's actually someone who has lived a life in Canadian music, and she still chases it fiercely, which tells you that there's many cases of people who have been fed in this business, and it does feed you. It feeds your soul. There may be days and weeks where maybe you don't get fed in the kitchen, but somebody takes care of you along the way, and it is a community, that is for sure. And part of the community is Michael J. Berthelmer, who is a producer and a musician, a studio owner here in Hamilton as well, and he appears in very tastefully in a wide number of different productions coming out of Hamilton, and it's always interesting to see the things that you're interested and involved in, sir, because they're always certainly interesting to us. Got some wonderful musicians going through Pine Street there. Must have been a good summer for you, a good year.
Yes.
It has been. And Michael Hickey, who is,
second time
here. We've got, he hasn't get the third time they get the badge and the house coat. Ryan, I think so. The third time. We've got some fives.
It's like 10 or 15 before you get a house coat.
Okay, yeah, 10 or 15 before you get a house coat.
Nobody's even close.
Oh, and I'm being told it's a smoking jacket.
Yeah.
It's on fire.
It's on fire on a regular basis. But you brought in a wonderful crew of people to play some Sue Leonard music. I want to start with you, Sue. And it's a pretty standard question I ask people when they come in here. Music, being a big part of your life. What were your early memories of music? When did music kind of grab you and shake you?
I've been singing as far back as I can remember, because my mother and father sang. All my sisters sang. So we grew up with it in the house. My mother would play piano and sit around, and we would all just kind of happened naturally. We would all sit around and just start doing harmonies and join in. We used to live up on the mountain, right, just off of Fennel on 44th, and it was a tiny little house, like 500 square feet, but it was full of music, and it was just a really lovely way to spend time,
Yeah, and you see that time and time again when it is a familial thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that brings the family together. It's something that teaches, you're sneaking all kinds of complex mathematical equations in on a child who doesn't know it, because it's wrapped around music, and
Absolutely.
it's really good for the brain. If you teach your children music, so it was a common theme within the family. Everyone was involved.
Yes, and it wasn't until I was like 35 years old. That was like just at the turn of the century when I turned 35. And, you know, it was amazing to be alive then. I remember my father telling me a story when I was younger that he had been adopted. And he was given up for adoption when he was 5 years old because his parents wanted to travel Europe singing light opera.
And that made sense at the time.
At the time, it made total sense.
Yeah.
You know, and so when I was back here in Hamilton when I was 35 years old, I was doing a show with Katie, and my sister came back with her newborn. My father's stepsister, who he grew up with in England, she phoned up to apologize for treating him the way she had treated him in their household. She never meant to do that. Everything changed for my dad then.
Wow.
Everything completely changed.
It's
for my
never
dad.
too late, is it?
No.
No.
It's absolutely never too late. Completely, the whole dynamic completely changed. And so to make, you know, it just connected me with the song Merseytown, because when I was at Solar for Illinois, it's up on the mountain. It's run by
Georgie Fab.
Bob. Yeah, Georgie Fab. But his legal name is Robert Johnson. But his nickname is, you know, Georgie Fab. And we were together, and he's a Beatle freak and stuff like that. And I told him that about my dad living on Mersey Street and growing up in Liverpool, and that's how living in the Merseytown was born, right? So it was like a full circle moment there with that. Who knew?
You know, and music, when did it become kind of a more than a passing fancy for you? When was the first time you got the rush of being on stage or doing something of your own?
Well, I didn't really start singing. I didn't do any singing when I was in Hamilton. My other sisters did. They all recorded and were out and doing Kiwanis concerts and stuff like that. But I never did that until I moved up to the Queen Charlotte Islands, which is now called Haida Gwaii. So, what is that? It's 1,000 miles north of Vancouver, and then 60 miles from the mainland, from Prince Rupert over to Haida Gwaii. And I started doing music there, and my first band was called Low Tide. No, seriously, it was called Low Tide. And I had, it was a 3-piece band, and we thought, oh, geez, how can we do this? How can we get this together? I don't know what's going to happen. The bass player had 2 stacks of, it was a Sun stack, PA stack, with 4 speakers on each side, and the 2 bottom ones on either side were completely blown out, so it sounded like a rubber boot.
My kind of guy.
It was perfect.
I love that guy.
Yeah. And we called him Reno, Nevada, the bass player. And we learned like 40 songs and got together, and we rented the Port Clements Hall, not knowing whether anybody would show up or not, and boom, it was packed.
Nice.
So we'd do a gig twice a month, one up in Masset and another one down in Queen Charlotte City, and I started playing there. And then I was working with a fellow called Randy Lowe, who's from Hamilton, and we were asked to come down to Vancouver to do a tune for the SOS, for Save Our Shores. I was in 78 or something like that. They paid us to come down there. And we got to know, I met Ron Fermi, who's a producer here and part owner of Cellarful, Illinois. And he invited us to come down and do an album after that. So that's the first time, really. That was in 76. 76 to 1980.
So you started meeting the people in the industry and getting an understanding of how it works.
Yeah, like I was working at Little Mountain Sound, and I didn't know how fabulous the studio was. I was just like a newbie.
Yeah.
So I learned an awful lot. I mean, we spent like 6 months in that studio, and I was working with Dave Slagter, and Bruce Fairburn came out of that studio. Bob Clearmountain owned the studio, I think. They had the factory, well, they call it the factory now, but GGRP, one of the biggest advertising agencies in North America, was based out of that studio, 201 West 7th, right? It was a famous studio. Anybody was recording at the time that I was there.
Yeah, no, it has quite a searing reputation. Quite a number of people have come through on this show have got stories of that.
Oh yes, Aerosmith, and I mean all the British groups, and I mean Bruce Fairburn, for heaven's sakes. We did Bon Jovi in that. I sang on Lay Your Hands on Me at that studio.
So you're getting picked up now for your voice. People have seen that. Okay, we gotta call Sue in here because she's got the chops. What about your writing? Have you started writing at that particular point in time?
I wasn't writing too much then. I mean, I was writing, but I wasn't doing a lot of recording, right?
Right.
So it was. I didn't really start writing a lot till like 1990, not late in that time frame.
Were you always like someone who wrote down little jotted bits
Always.
here and there?
Yeah. It's like a radio going on in my head all the time, Kevin. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah.
Seriously. When I'm in the car, I don't listen to music, and when I'm at home, I don't listen to music because I've got this thing going on in my head. I'm out beside myself. I'm looking at him going, he's going to make me laugh, right? He cracks me up.
There's a frustration when they get through and you don't capture them and don't have an opportunity because you know it was a great little part.
Well, I carried around a recorder with me. I used to, what did they used to call them? Darn, I can't even remember. That was like
Walkman.
Thank you.
Walkman.
I used to carry around a Walkman, a TCS 30, right?
Yes.
Fabulous sound, and I would record on that. And then after that, I got an iPod, and I would just turn it on, and it had a stereo mic on it,
Yep.
and I could record on that. You know,
Creativity. You know, there's nothing like it.
I did a lot of writing when I lived on the Sunshine Coast. Fast forward to from 1980 to 1998, I moved up there and I started writing, and that's when I did Bend. I wrote a lot of the songs off the Bend album there, right? So, because it was really beautiful, you could go over. I mean, it was right on the water, and you could see Thornton Bay Island from there, and Vancouver Island, and it was a really beautiful place.
Yeah, my dad lives out there. Every time I go out, I'm going to retire out here. I'm going to definitely come out here. It's just so spiritually uplifting.
Absolutely.
You know, it's, my nose clears up and my disposition clears up. It's really enjoyable. So tell me about your relationship with Katie Lang. How did you hook up with her?
Oh, my friend Alison Hogan was working at Bumstead Records. I'm working for Larry Wanigas, her manager. And she had been asked initially to go on the road with Katie. And she had just met the love of her life. It was a guitar tech guy. And they decided that they would never see each other if that was going to happen, if she was going to go on the road. And he was always on the road. He worked with Hart. He worked with a whole bunch of different people. So she called me up. She said, look, I've got a cassette. It's Absolute Touch and Twang. They're looking for a singer. You need to get this. She was my best friend, lived down the street, so I got the cassette, and I learned every song on it and all the different parts, all the harmonies and everything like that. They called me in for an audition, and I knew it. It was like they had it all set up like a full stage thing by the Terry Fox venue out in near BC Place, like that huge dome out there. And we got in, and they had it all set up like you were going to be doing a great big show in front of 10,000 people. Anyway, I went in there, and the band started playing. She says, well, what song do you want to do? And I said, look at my eyes. She goes, I don't know it. I said, well, and then I suggested another one. She goes, I don't know that one either. And I said, so she started singing, and, we finally found a song she wanted to do, because she still hadn't even done a lot of vocals in the rehearsals. They were still doing pre-production, like instrumentation, stuff like that. And we started singing, and she went off during a break. I think it was during a chorus or something, or the solo, and went out with Ben, and came back, and they were still playing the song. We were going into the verse section, and she puts her hand out and said, you got the job? And I said, thank you. Right. Wow. That was my first introduction.
And so that opened your eyes to seeing the way, touring can work. It's nice.
Oh, absolutely. I had never, that was my first tour, and it was a major one. Right. So the Reclines, Katie Lang and the Reclines. Yeah. And all those guys are just like I was saying to these folks not too long ago, they're all still friends of mine. I feel really close to them. I know you're listening, John. I could just feel them right now. Anyway, no, they're all really, it was an amazing time. I remember everything I ate on that tour, everywhere I went, because it was so new to me.
Yeah.
The second tour, the Ingenue tour, was like, forget about it. It was different.
Old and jaded by then. Yeah.
Oh, I was old. I was jaded. It had a different. Yeah, it had a different vibe to it because it wasn't the Weeklines anymore.
Right.
She had made a transition between cowpunk and adult contemporary.
Yes.
Right. I mean, it was really different, and good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her. That just shows her writing prowess and.
Yeah, I remember her blowing up, and I remember the desperation in trying to pigeonhole that.
Mm-hmm.
And her absolute refusal to let that happen, and then at a certain point they just gave up. They weren't going to say this is what Katie Lang is.
Yeah.
We'll wait until she tells us, what she's doing, and it was just got better and better, and the people she worked with and respect. Yeah, it was nice to see.
Oh, it was amazing to be on stage with her. I was telling these guys that it would be like being in a tennis match, watching Martina Navratilova. And like the ball, go back and forth like that, and she'd walk back and forth, and the audience would just go like this. And it was like this. They're all in tandem going like this because they were transfixed on her, totally transfixed on her. It was amazing to see.
Yeah.
Amazing to be a part of it.
She played just down the road at Festival of Friends when she was right at the beginning, when she was still wearing the wedding dress, and it was. It could be a Hamilton crowd, a little jaded or whatever, but she had them won. It was really a great thing to see, at that time. And a big part of what, Canadian music, success stories, and you see them, time and time again, and there's great acts and great bands that come out of, all parts of Canada.
Absolutely.
On a regular basis. Ryan and I went and saw Men Without Hats on a Monday, a little more a year ago. On a Monday at the Casbah. And it wasn't overly,
right.
Attended. But was it good?
It was
so good. It was like one of our favorite shows of the year. We see a lot of shows.
It's one of my top 5 concerts, maybe.
Yeah. And he's ranking that up there. And it was like on a Monday
probably
night. Probably not top 5 of
top
all
5
time.
fun.
Yeah. But
it was a lot of fun.
It was incredible. And I remember thinking, I saw them and I saw the Box and I saw so many great Canadian bands who got to play festivals and got to be exposed to someone who may not be otherwise get the opportunity to see them, and that they're still playing and that they're not phoning it in. They're still incredibly talented and driven in what they do. So I'd like to get you to maybe lead off the evening with playing a live tune. We're going to switch back and forth between some live music and some of your recordings, and you can share stories about the recording process. Sometimes it's a wonderful, glowing experience. Sometimes it's a little painful, but we always like hearing about the particular songs on a recording.
Well, yeah, we'll do Merseytown. This is a song that I recorded here in Hamilton with. Bill Dillon, and Bill Dillon played the bass and guitars on it, and Georgie Fab and I and Bill, we wrote it together. So that I did a release of this Leonardville record. I think it was last July, but it still has a life of its own.
Still love to play it every time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and this is all new to me, being in Hamilton. Seriously, because I've only been back here since 2011. And I grew up here, but 2011. And I've met these people in such a short period of time, and been able to work with people like Bill Dillon and Georgie Fab and Nick Blagona,
me,
and him.
Absolutely,
absolutely, and him. And now, and so during the solo in this song, he's just going to start talking.
Yeah,
he's actually not going to play guitar.
A little bit of that sweet talk.
Okay.
All right.
So, yes, now we got to get this. Okay. Well, this is called Living in a Merseytown.
Living in Merseytown, Barbershop Podcast.
Is that tempo good?
Yeah. Father wakes up at the break of day. We're so calling him down. to a place he worked every day in those coal mines underground. My grandparents and their parents too, and as far back as history goes, there really wasn't much of a choice living in a Mersey town. Oh, it's a hard life, it's a hard life, working underground, but it's a grand life, it's a great life, living in a Mersey town. Every evening when the sun goes down, I was waiting there to walk him home. I could see it by the look in his eyes, and I'd hear him say, oh, it's a hard life, it's a hard life, working underground, but it's a grand life, it's a great life, living in a Mersey town. Let's raise your glass to all those hard-working miners living in that coldest days. I love you more, Dad, than I ever told you. You made sure we had everything. Oh, it's a hard life, it's a hard life, working underground, but it's a grand life, it's a great life, living in a Mersey town. Oh, and it's a hard life, it's a hard life, working underground, but it's a grand life, it's a great life, working in a Mersey town. Oh, it's a hard life, it's a hard life, working underground. Oh, it's a grand life, it's a great life, living in a Mersey town. Living in a Mersey town, yeah.
Traditional, original, beautiful Sue Leonard, Mersey Town, bringing it to us here at Barbershop Podcast. It is a transcendental experience, I must say.
Can you spell that, Kevin?
No.
Can you say it again?
Can you
It's
say it again? Probably not.
transcendental.
A transcendental.
It's not just transcendental. It's,
well, that's Scottish
it's-
for transcendental.
It's transcendental, exactly. There was some tooth work
Wow.
Transcend.
involved somewhere down there. But it has a flavor, right? I mean, it transports you there. And the thing about live music and about good writing and good playing, very tasteful. It takes you to that riverbank or wherever you are when you're performing a song.
Yeah.
Is this something that when you work with musicians or when you write that you're aware of, or does it just kind of come out and you look at it from a distance and go, wow?
Well, sometimes I'll write a song, but it's not until you get together with your collaborators and other musicians that they bring. They bring a cohesiveness to it, right? That it didn't. It just doesn't come out like that. I wish it just, I can't do that. So. I've been very lucky. I feel quite grateful that I've met this group of people. This is only a small portion of the band. I pretty much hired everybody in Hamilton.
Everyone in town, and it's kind of like
I called it the Perfect Strangers Light.
Yes, the Perfect Strangers Light Band.
This is the light version.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll ask you. I'll start with you, Michael. What's about Sue's music that really attracts you? And you're someone who sees a lot of music come in and come out, and you tend to,
I see a lot, yes. She's a seasoned pro, and she does the best little Polish lady accent. I know.
It's true. It's not. It doesn't. It comes out sometimes. It's not always like that.
All right, talk about it.
Well, I know, but he sometimes Michael makes the best coffee in the world.
She's funny. She's
Oh yeah.
top-notch talent. Beautiful singer, wonderful person, and she's a Hamilton girl. And I had no idea she was a Hamilton girl until just a few months ago.
Laurie's.
At Laurie's.
Well, that's how we all met.
This is how we all met.
Yeah, she's brought us all together.
Yeah,
that little
Laurie
vixen.
Laurie Yates is just
Laurie Yates.
incredible.
Yeah.
Giving, caring person. She likes community, and whoa. There were so many people at Laurie's Guitar, Paul. By the third time, I think that we did it, that we all needed name tags people would just show up before a gig. That's got to say an awful lot about what's going on here in the community. It's quite something.
It is.
There's something, and I think I can say this now, something in the water.
Yes.
Before, it used to live on inert matter. It doesn't do that anymore.
No.
And now that it's been cleaned up, you know.
Yes.
And
we got a new filtration
there
plant.
is just something quite magical that I have never experienced in all my years of playing music. Seriously, everybody's really supportive, and
Yes.
it's amazing.
It is a vibrant musical community.
Oh,
it's a vibrant artistic community.
Yes.
It has that right kind of balance of treasure and fear, that you want in a real musical town. You've got gobs of depth, and you've got intelligence, and you've got a realism where, the songs, the Laurie's songwriting workshop, it's like one after another, and I took it, and I fancy myself a fairly good songwriter, but I was nothing special. Everyone was great. And all the classes, everyone's great, and that's that's a sampling of the kind of talent we have here, and players. It's nice. I've kind of come into it now myself, where my Rolodex has gotten larger and larger.
Right.
Where it feels so good to set someone up, where it's like, oh, I'm recording something. You need a fiddle player or a violin player? Do you need?
Absolutely.
I have two bagpipe players, and it's nice to be able to put people together on projects that excite people.
Yeah.
And well, you've done some good work, and you've produced a lot of music over the years. The CD that we're going to be featuring some songs off. How did that leave? Was that a happy pregnancy?
The
When
band?
The
Are
band.
you talking about the band?
About the band. When you gave birth to the band, was it exactly what you hoped and wanted,
Absolutely.
or did you have to learn to love it after?
No. There was
Good.
every step along the way was just quite magical. I wrote the songs. I brought them in to Bill Sample, who's just one of the most amazing keyboard players, accompanists I've ever worked with, and I brought him in as an artist on the project, and so we called that the band through Leonard and Sample.
Right.
And then I went and all the songs that I had written while I was up on the Sunshine Coast, I came back in to Vancouver, and we just started recording around them. And then there was a few of the songs that he had. Nickel, he had a melody for Nickel, and what was the other tune? God's Theme, the epic song God's Theme on that record.
Well, if you're going to have a song called God's Theme, it better be epic.
It's epic.
It's epic.
It is. Yep.
I'll
vouch for that.
It is. It's epic. I've actually done it with two guitars in concert, and it's epic.
Epic, yes.
But that was a huge band. We did that live off the floor in Paul Baker's studio in North Vancouver. And we did that in 3 days. And then did all the overdubs and everything in about 2 weeks after that.
Wonderful.
And our first gig, we applied to be at the Vancouver International Jazz Festival and opened up for at the Commodore. It was our first gig. I'm trying to remember who the heck it was. He's since passed away. I don't remember the name. I apologize.
Someone quite posh.
Doesn't really matter. They were huge.
Heavenly band at this
Heavenly
point.
band.
I can't remember. It'll come to me later on. It's what's happened to me since I stopped drinking water.
All right. Well, we're going to spin I'm Not Gonna Worry, because I think that that's some little piece of advice that we have to keep telling ourselves. It's a worrisome world, you know, and if we've got better things to do than worry. And listening to some of Sue Leonard's amazing music here at Barbershop Podcast just happens to be one of them. And here she is.
Story on a card in a letter for all I care, mail it to my next of kin. They don't really care about your crazy situation, and I never wonder about the shape you're in, because I'm not gonna worry, I don't have to worry. You could be a ghost and suddenly pass through me. I don't like to hang around for things I can't feel. If you know what I mean, yeah. Misdirected energy has taken its toll on you and me. Like two ships that pass in the night, we'll sail without each other till we get it right. Until I'm not gonna worry, I don't have to worry. Free radical particular does not matter to me. A supernova you may claim to be, but your light will never catch me. Knocking around my door, the next sound you will hear will be my engine roar as my right foot hits that gas pedal floor. I'll be halfway across the border down to Mexico. Until that, I'm not gonna worry, I don't have to worry. Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, you and I will never be. You'll dance around the truth because you choose not to see. For an eternity, said they just say Raphael would love to tell the world about your living hell. The buying public loves show and tell, but it all comes down to what you're trying to sell me. I'm not gonna worry, I don't have to worry. You could turn from prom to prince, it would not faze me. And if I get a chance to catch you on TV, I'll change the channel to CBC. 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 Change the world, but I can change that channel.
The sweet, sultry sounds of Sue Leonard here at Barbershop Podcast, filtering through on a warm winter's day. Wasn't it a beautiful experience today to see the sun come and visit us again after so many months of...
It was almost tropical.
It was. People were giddy.
We're flooded in Flamborough.
Flooded in Flamborough.
That's it. Yeah, it's
the new people from out of
unreal.
Look it up.
Look it up.
It's not pretty. No.
Yeah. We're secessionists out there.
Out
you know,
there. but all the water runs downhill to Dundas and
Yeah.
Hamilton, and that's even worse.
Yes,
at the end
yes,
of
for
the
sure.
day. So, genre-wise, people as they mature, their musical tastes change. What was your progression from what you started singing to what you sing now?
Well, I was, when I started singing, mainly it was blues. I was really into blues, and like the Snakes, and down in Austin or in Texas, and Luann Barton, Slim Harpo, and the Women of Anton. That's the kind of stuff that I gravitated toward. Bonnie Raitt, things like that. So when I went down to Vancouver, I was known as a blues artist. I used to play at the Ale all the time. But on the side, I was writing country tunes and bluegrass and a little bit of jazz and this and that, and it's kind of just spread out from there.
Now, would you keep them in little piles, like this is my bluegrass pile, this is my country pile, or they would just be like, this is my latest?
No. After the Bend record, I was asked if I'd like to come out and do some recording at A Cellar Full of Noise, and they wanted me to do an album. I said, well, no, I'm writing kind of like all over the map, and I really like it. Could we just do one at a time? And I didn't want to invest in a conceptual album.
Right.
And so it was really nice because I was getting a lot of radio play in the States with all these different different styles of songs. I could get on the blues radio, or I could get on an adult contemporary station, or I could get on the jazz. And I thought, I quite like this. This is what I want to do, and write for other people, and just go out and perform all these tunes.
How was your first couple co-writing experiences? Were you uncomfortable doing that?
Yeah. I loved collaborating with people. I like working with other people. I just find it a lot easier to share in the ideas. I'm really open to taking a song and making it better with other co-writers.
Yeah.
But that's me. There's a lot of other people who don't. It has to be this way, and don't change it. I'd like to write with you, but don't change a thing.
Don't change a thing.
I like what you do, just not to me.
Yeah, I like what you do. Just don't do it here. I'll kill you. And but I don't mind. There's lots of songs that I've started out with an idea, and they've completely changed, and just for the better.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
If I was to ask you to maybe pull one out of the live bucket, is there a song that maybe comes to mind, the one that did make a progression? Change?
Drift Away. I wrote this with my friend James Lancaster in Boise, Idaho, when I was down there, and I wrote about 35 songs with him, and this is just one of the 2 songs that I ended up on the Leonardville CD.
And clearly quite proud that you got it the way you wanted it.
Yeah, okay. Drift Away.
Fall through the cracks with a wave of emotion. Lie on this bed of sand on an ocean. Oh, washes over my shoulder to cleanse under these harbor lights that never simply imagine and fly away. A time here obscured, 2 broken hearts. Could we begin again? Where would we start? Caught between all of my fractured thoughts, and me. that time just cannot erase. Love that we shared will never fade away. On wings of a word no longer spoken, one needs to simply imagine and fly. A time here obscured, two broken hearts. Could we begin again? Where would we start? Caught between all of my fractured thoughts, and I hear now and wonder what will become of me without you. Oh, and I fall into a pale existence of my own self while you drift away. I felt alone under falling skies. An angel came down, took you away, right before my eyes. Out here on the ocean, contemplate these things under the harbor lights that never end. Oh, and I hear now and wonder what would become of me without you. Oh, I fall into a pale existence of my own self while you drift away. Drift away. Drift
Just so beautiful. Beautiful. Sue Leonard bringing it here, Barbershop Podcast. Each and every week we've got this kind of level of world-class music, and it's all here in Hamilton, Ontario. You come down and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, somewhere you're going to find some live music and you're going to be entertained. And I can't think of anything that's more rewarding than something from the heart that affects you so directly like that. Great job.
Aren't they amazing?
Fun until the daddy takes the T-bird away.
It really is, you know, that I think there's a generation that missed out on having poetry and prose as part of their life, you know. But our generation had a lot of great singer-songwriters who were able to introduce us to great words. And
I'm surrounded by them.
Yeah.
Totally surrounded by them. Actually, the Laurie, you know, we talk about Laurie Yates and how she's sort of a central focus to all of this. When I met Sue, I didn't know who Sue was, and I apologize. I didn't know who Sue was, but I started playing this kind of blues riff thing, and Sue was walking back from the back of Laurie's place, and it was like I was just sort of fooling around, waiting for Dan Medikovich to pick up his guitar or something. Right. And Sue just picks up the microphone and starts wailing away, and I went,
Did she sing anything?
Yeah, man, you should have heard her sing it. Boy, I tell you, it was something else. So we've got a lot of thanks to Lori for pulling us all together.
Yeah, I think, and she's someone who, again, she's not from Hamilton. She made Hamilton her home, and she is, from the day that she came here, she's been constantly amazed at the musical talent, that's here, and she's embraced it, and she's a big part, again, why we're all here and why we continue to do this. One of the reasons I had to have her on the show, I was trying for the longest time to get her on, and she's like, "Oh, I'm working," and then she watched one and she went, "That's pretty good. Okay, I'll go on." And it was like so much fun to get her story, to come on, and people. It's going to be up there forever, right? We've already had one guest who passed away, and it was, as bittersweet as it was at his eulogy, it was nice to see the words that we had spoken put up that could be shared with other people.
Right.
It's a great
it's
thing.
a legacy, it's a story there. And I think everyone has a musical legacy and a story to share. And I think it's something that's, it should be fiercely defended, in this town. And we're certainly doing our part to bring it to you, each and every week. We're on YouTube. We're on Stitcher Radio. We're on iTunes. You can get a hold of us on our Twitter page, our Facebook page. It'll take you back to barbershoppodcast.com. It's the Wild West out there. We can, for the first time, produce a show like this. And the easiest part about doing the show has been getting amazing talent in here each and every week. It's great because the first people who got it and who are interested in doing it were the musicians,
Right.
who are just constantly looking for a venue, to say, I just wish someone could hear me.
Hear me.
Absolutely.
Hear me.
Absolutely.
And I've often said, if someone
There's a concept.
has a little emotional investment where now they know something about someone, it's like, now I want to know a little bit more. Now when I listen to a song, I've got a bit of insight and I care now, and I believe this person. And when those things start to take place, then you build that fan base. And I want to kind of talk to you about that. How do you see the future of the business of music? It's in a difficult place right now.
Well, I think you have to just, for me, I've never been famous. I never aspired to be famous. I aspired to be able to write and to be able to work with people who were like-minded. And to me, that's the success in it. I think that's what's going on here in Hamilton, is that it resonates with people, that singer-songwriter, that experience, and it's bringing everybody together. It's not about trying to make it or trying to I'm just going to sing a couple of songs. You just take the background and I'm good. We all have gravitated to one another in a really, really, it's just like this thing that's built upon this, like Lori. I can't say enough about that, because she's helped get me gigs. She's invited me down to tributes. She introduced me to all these people, and look at here we are. And now we're sitting here talking to you. It's like this domino effect, because you need to just take the bull by the horns.
Yes, you do.
And make your own way through it.
Yeah.
Make your own way through it, because I'm not thinking about going and getting signed or anything like that. I'm really happy to be sitting here singing and playing music.
Yeah.
And working with the likes of this group of people and the other thousands of people that are going to be showing up in the band on the 27th at the Art Bar. We are doing a show there.
So at Artwood Art Bar at 11 Colburn Street in Hamilton, Ontario. That's just off of James Street North, across from the Armories.
Yep.
And what day is that?
27th.
The 27th.
Thursday.
That's a Thursday.
That's a Thursday.
There's February 27th.
February 27th, so that's in 8 days. You make your way down there, and it's a great venue and a great place to hear a band like this.
It's just it's a listening audience that comes down.
Yes, a listening
there,
room, and that's appreciated.
And you get to share
But they still serve beer, but you listen and drink at the same time.
it's really intimate and really very relaxing, and and the people that run the place, I really enjoy them. There's a nice atmosphere. And there's a gallery downstairs as well, right? So.
Well, we're gonna play another recorded track, and is there one of them off of the like Dig Down Deep, or I Believe That You Feel a Little Something About?
Oh, Dig Down Deep?
Dig Down Deep, does that one got a...
Yeah, Dig Down Deep. I wrote that on the way to the Sunshine Coast Festival. And that's in BC. And, I was working with Bill Sample and Steve Hilliam on saxophone. We were just doing a trio up there. And I thought, well, I've got this little song. Why don't we work it? And I was writing it on the way up there. Got the ferry over to Salty Bay, and we performed it that day when we got up there. And people, it was a perfect audience to try stuff out on, and it worked. So we ended up putting that one on the album. And Dig Down Deep is really, I started writing it. I don't want to mention his name, but it was a really good friend of mine who kind of got up in the morning and looked at the world with his glass half empty.
A little down.
Yeah.
A little negatory Rory.
But it's a real, and all the songs are personal. You know what I mean? Like they're about relationships with my family, my niece, my sister, all of it. But they all have a positive message at the end of them. And Dig Down Deep, even though it's really sad and you just want to go out and maybe do yourself in or something, it really does have a positive message to it.
Well, we're going to hear a little bit of it right here at Barbershop Podcast from Sue Leonard, Dig Down Deep.
Look outside your window, past the street below. A city full of fractured, beating hearts, but do they know your days turn into weeks here, and you find yourself alone. Dig down deep, Lord. Dig down deep. Dig down deep, yeah, yeah. Dig down deep. The wind is blowing colder. You're frozen deep in thought. Your yesterdays bleed into another day forgot. It's a great life if you don't weaken, but you wanna let you start. Dig down deep, yeah. Dig down deep. Dig down deep. Oh, dig down deep. You wake up to a silence. Your sky has turned to red. In pictures that you painted with all those lies you said, the colors slowly melt away, and the truth begins to bend. Dig down deep, yeah. Dig down deep. Dig down deep. Oh, 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 dig down deep. Your mama's gotta go now. Well, it's time for me to fly. Go to sleep, and while you sleep, I'll sing this lullaby. You gotta crawl before you walk, or you will never touch the sky. Dig down deep, yeah. Dig down deep, dig down deep, Lord, dig down deep, dig down deep. Down deep. You want me to? Yeah, we're gonna do this
Barbershop
because it's fun.
Podcast is here every Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. Sometimes we go at 7, sometimes we go at 9, but pretty steady Eddie. 8 o'clock Wednesday nights. We do live TV. It's like 1955 all over again. And I am impressed each and every week at the ability of a bunch of musicians to come in and pull off these performances live perfectly with aplomb. And usually what happens is I kind of go from the original plan of playing a few more off of the CDs to getting as many live performances as I can. And these four folks have agreed to do a couple more songs before we head out tonight. So we can get back to the chat of the day, find out what the future is going to bring, what kind of gigs and projects are awaiting. But in the meantime, we're going to, I think, get a couple more live songs out of you. What are we going to start with?
This one's called It's True. This is about... when did I write this one?
Would be nice if I was tuned.
2008, I think.
Talk
I
amongst
started to write.
yourselves.
It's actually about my ex. You know, it was a really nice, light song about wanting to hang out with him and how I felt about being with him, and it just kind of flew out. I wrote
Before
it.
he was your ex, right?
That was before he was my ex.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I thought maybe it was a healing song.
Yeah, I wrote it. I remember I turned the iPod on with the little stereo unit on it, got into my van, and I finished the song by the time I got off the ferry on the other side. And I recorded it with a bunch of guys, Daryl Havers on keyboards in Vancouver. We just did a demo of it, you know.
But you had to get it recorded quickly because you knew it was very real.
Yeah. So they did it like kind of like it has a New Orleans feel. But I am going to actually re-record it, you know, with it needs a proper piano part and stuff like that on it. But I had to pay them a lot of money, but they did decide
They've got
to
a
do
sweet
it.
gist of it, eh?
They got a gist of it.
Well, I'd be delighted if you play it for us here
Will
at
do.
Barbershop Podcast.
Yes. And I'll get to do, make sure we've got the right end in it. I'm going to play it solo. Hey, tell me, baby, now what are we supposed to do? Yeah. You got your feelings, boy, I got my feelings too. You headed down on a southbound trail, and I was right behind you, calling out your name. It's true, yeah. I wanna be with you. Some people follow their dreams, I'd take a plane to an Arab land just so I could stand there and hold your hand. It's true, yeah. I wanna be with you, be with you. My baby has how you say that certain je ne sais quoi. He don't care where I come from, 'cause he knows where I'm headed for. Oh, they got a nickel, I'm using woolen plugs for dimes. Well, if the law ever catches me, I guess I'm gonna do me sometime, yeah. I could not wait to get a pounded bus and take my sorry ass out of the great state of Texas. It's true, yeah. I wanna be with you. Could barely see where the sun hit my shoes. I can't wait to twist and shout with you. It's true, yeah. I wanna be with you. Oh, I wanna be with you, Lord. I wanna be with you, be with you.
That's fun.
Yeah, all fun. Good stuff. So as a songwriter, what's the biggest buzz? Hearing someone else cover your song, playing it live, or hearing it on the radio?
Well, I remember the first time I heard the next song that we're going to do on the radio. I actually did. I pulled over and I sat there and I went, holy mackerel.
Were you kind of like listening, stalking the station because you were hoping you thought they might play it? It came on.
It came on and I went, holy mackerel. It was really exciting to hear the song, you know, that you'd written on the radio. But I love performing more now than I ever did.
Was there ever a period where you were shy or bashful, or you had a lot of anxiety with performing?
The very first gig that I ever did when I was on the Queen Charlotte Islands, I was in a church, and it was a coffee house type of thing. And I got up with a friend of mine who was playing guitar, really great guitar player. Like I mentioned before, Randy Lowe, he grew up in Hamilton. And he got me up to sing a song, and I was just shaking in my boots, and my knees were knocking, and I'm sweating, and I'm like that, and singing. And I got down after the song. I sat down, and Randy says, we're going to do 12 more. So you need to come.
We're going to do 12.
We're going to do 12 more. So you need to get up. You need to come back up. I was so frightened.
You're so happy you were done. You thought, I pulled it off. I'm out of here.
It was all I could do to get up there and do that, you know. It took me a long time. I don't know. I just,
But you've taken to it now, like a duck to water.
Well, yeah, I just feel real comfortable.
Well, yeah, you seem to have a great ease in them. And that,
who I am, and these guys are so wonderful to be with. There's, you know.
Yeah, and how good is Cindy? You know, I mean, it's like she's like your vocals.
She's a great singer-songwriter.
And any time I've ever heard her sing with anyone, she sings the perfect part and perfect pitch. So she's very empathetic, which when you're playing with someone is really nice to have someone who gets what you're doing.
Oh, I know. Well, that's why she's That's why she's doing the gig with me.
It's not
because I
easy to
did
sing
call
spit
her.
and polish, you know.
It's
that's
not easy.
It's not because you spit and polish. You know?
Yes, and actually, when we do it live at the Art Bar, we're going to do it with the Catherine Hepburn.
I would love to see that.
Spit and polish.
Oh, yeah. I love it. Yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah.
As long as I'm about 3 or 4
I'm enjoying
feet.
Well, yeah, what are
doing
the-
music more than I ever have. I'm 60,
Yeah.
and I'm actually playing more music, writing more music, collaborating, and meeting just like a ton of people.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me is like success.
Yeah, that's it.
I'd say
At
so.
first, truly.
You know, a mile away
I'm
from being
thrilled.
burned out and bitter.
No,
Yeah.
there's no point.
There's no point.
That's
in that.
counterproductive. If as soon as you feel that way, you really aren't. You're not going to move forward.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be open to change. You know, you got to be open to change. You know, the music business has changed so much, right?
Yeah.
You have to make it's guerrilla warfare if you want to continue. But all I do is I can just continually work at it. When I'm home, I network all the time. I network all the time
And
on the computer. And
Very important to do. Very important to do. And a lot of people in the business poo-poo it and say it's overrated, it's overblown, but you can't, you know, underdo it. You can't have a lack of faith in what you do. You can't tell one fewer person about a show that you've worked hard to book, and you've put your heart and soul in a
Yep.
CD, and then you're going to sit on it because you're embarrassed to sell your diary, you know, to someone. You go out and you shout from the highest mountain, look at what I've done, you know, and try to involve those people who share that excitement.
Well, absolutely. I think I found my passion in life, and that is co-writing and working with like-minded souls.
And singing, obviously.
And singing, yeah. And it means more to me now than it ever did. It doesn't, you know, it's just one part of who I am. But when you bring in a community of people, you get to share in all different aspects of yourself within that community, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's really nice about being back in Hamilton.
There you go.
Really.
Hamilton, Ontario, the place where you're going to find the talent, the joy, the love, the music. It's here. It's here on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. I'm going to squeeze another live song out of you.
Okay.
What are you
This
gonna-
song's called Without You.
Without You,
This is off the Bend record.
off the Ben record with Sue Leonard and the Perfect Strangers here at Barbershop Podcast.
I'm like, sorry.
It's too slow unless you want to play it that slow.
You know, the profundity of the stuff that comes out of your mouth is just like a book should be written. It's wonderful. It makes me laugh. This is right, isn't it? We had the technique.
That seem right? Something like that?
Yep.
That feels right.
It feels right.
They're tapping their toes.
you can hear it on the mic.
Can you?
Oh, I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
No, it's good. It's good.
This
It's
is live.
creepy good.
We're also sorry.
I've got a feeling of pain so deep it tears my heart, and I can't sleep without you, baby, without you. I got a shiver in my spine, made me feel like I'm just doing time without you, baby, without you. Well, I fall like a leaf in the wind, deeper and deeper I twist and bend. Fall like a leaf from a tree until you catch me. Set me free. Set me free. Oh, my love you got, and though I'm in shock, I still stumble when I walk without you, baby, without you. Oh, you say black, I'll say white. It's gonna be another lonely night without you, baby, without you. Well, I fall like a leaf in the wind, deeper and deeper I twist and bend. Fall like a leaf from a tree until you fetch me, set me free. Caught in a circle around and around by this love and law I'm bound. Hey, set me free. Set me free. Set me free. Set me free, oh. Crackle and crumble, hard and dry. This driven love is gonna make me cry without you, baby, without you.
Sue Leonard and the Perfect Strangers, bringing it hard and real here at Barbershop Podcast. Another Wednesday of fantastic music, fantastic musicians, great people here in Hamilton, Ontario. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming in here. I know this winter has gotten you down, but each and every week we got people coming in, bringing a little sunshine and warmth to the
Absolutely.
people
It's melting.
out there.
It's now
It's
melting.
literally melting right now. It's working.
God.
I told you
Thank
it would
God.
work.
I'm fucking done with it.
Are you done with it, Ryan?
Yeah, man. Amen.
Thank you.
Use the blowtorch.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh,
so much.
it's been our absolute pleasure. And we're going to come back next Wednesday with something also fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm blanking right now who it is. Remember who it is, Ryan?
Oh, you put me on the spot.
I know. That's a producer's job.
After that,
though,
it's
isn't it?
Yeah, of
Shreddy.
course. Blame it on the producer, of course.
I don't have a
Always
co-op
the
student
producer,
anymore to blame it on.
No more co-op student. But yeah. Hold
The
on.
Beatles.
I'm
That's
bringing
it.
up. It's the Beatles. Yeah.
It's the Beatles.
Just John.
Just John.
Just John.
Just
and
John.
Who was the other dead one? Just John
Just
and George.
yes.
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
How more tasteless can we get? We're doing so well.
The Monarch Project.
The Monarch Project.
Yes.
That's right. These guys are like amazing.
And
They're like,
I ran into one of the members. We'll find out who it is
Yeah.
next week at
Copy
where was
Dog.
it? At Copy
Yeah,
Dog. Yes,
yeah.
and he's pretty pumped and he likes the show and I'm pretty excited.
yeah, and these guys, I was told by the Kents, no less, that they are like game savers. So they're going to come in here and they're going to rock our worlds. So the Monarch Project next week. Want to thank Sue Leonard and everyone who came in. Cindy Dell and Michael and the Michaels, both Michaels who came in and joined us tonight.
The Michaels.
And Ryan Cannon, who
Did my thing.
did your thing. Nothing blew up.
Nope.
It
Good
was
week.
good. It was a good week.
Nothing blew up.
Nothing blew up. We
Yeah.
put that down to a success story.
Oh, good.
See you next week.
See ya.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.